Okay, so today I'm just doing a basic reading channel life update. This is going to be titled as the weekly reading vlog for the week because predominantly I'm going to talk about what I have been reading and what my plans are. But for those of you who have been with me for a little while, if you've seen my recent videos, you knew that I was going away for a little while. So I did that. I just came back today, maybe about an hour ago. So I did say that I might take you guys with me if I'm able to. Unfortunately, I was not able to film while I was away, but that's fine. That is what it is. I'm now back. I'm now going to give you my updates. Now, there are there are a lot of updates to give. So let's start off by updating you guys on what I have been reading over the course of the last week. I mean, it's Tuesday in a new week, so it's been 10 days, but let's pretend that this was last week. Anyway, okay, so the first book that I read, I actually finished off, Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. This was the second of my Discord, no, third of my Discord buddy reads, and I really haven't been having a good old time in the buddy reads. And that's nothing to do with the experience of buddy reading, because I always love buddy reading with others. It's more the books themselves. Frankenstein, just like the others, just wasn't the book for me. I don't think that there's anything inherently wrong with it. I don't think Mary Shelley is necessarily a bad author. I just think that the book just didn't work for me. So the book opens up with about 4 letters that Dr. Frankenstein is writing to, I believe, his sister, just keeping her in the loop as to how things are going with his life. And we get to learn a little bit about his backstory and how he came to be who he is. And I really enjoyed that, although I was confused. I had to ask on the Discord, why are we opening up with letters? But I was told, no, that is how it opens up. I loved that. Once we got into standard narration, I stopped liking it. I wish it was all letters. I would have loved it that way, because the letters are from a doctor. We follow a doctor who creates this quote-unquote monster. That's what it's referred to in the book, a monster, also called Frankenstein. So we've got Dr. Frankenstein and Monster Frankenstein. So I'll just say the doctor and the monster. So the doctor wrote the letters, and I loved that. And then we have this interview predominantly that's taken place with the monster of Frankenstein, and I did not enjoy that. First of all, I thought, and this is my own fault, I just assumed that it would be a lot more action-packed than it was, and it definitely was not. And also, when we start hearing from Monster Frankenstein what he's been going through and things about his life, he starts off, Monster Frankenstein, very neutral, and then his mood just continues to go down, down, down as the book goes along. So he's neutral to sad, to upset, to depressed, to angry, and it's a mood issue that I had. I wasn't in the mood for something like that. So it was just a real downer for me. I'm going to give this book 2 stars, but please do take that with a grain of salt. The other people I read this with over on my Discord for the buddy read loved this book. So, and Jessica from Lady Lovestead reads. Jessica from Lady Lovestead reads and myself, we've always been saying to each other, it's good we can recommend classics to each other, because if I don't like it, she most likely does, and if she doesn't like it, I most likely do. So Jessica, if you're watching, you might like Frankenstein. But it just wasn't for me, you guys. So from me, 2 stars, but again, as I say, take that with a grain of salt. I really wasn't in the mood for it. So the second book that I picked up was 4 by Veronica Roth. For those of you who don't know, this book is a companion book to the Divergent series, which is a trilogy that follows a girl by the name of Tris Pryor. In book 1, named Divergent, Tris meets a love interest whose name is Tobias. This book, but that book, book 1, 2, and 3 of the Divergent series, follows the perspective of Tris. This book follows the perspective of her love interest, Tobias, otherwise known as 4. I thought that this book would be an exact copy of book number 1 of Divergent, except done by 4's perspective. It's not. It's so much more than that. This is a book that brings us up to speed on Tobias's backstory, all the way up until, and some highlights along the way, his time with Tris. So I really appreciate that. I wish I'd known that, because I probably would have read it a long time ago. So if you are umming and ahhing, if you're on the fence about reading this book because you feel like it'll be a retelling of book 1, it's definitely not. This is us learning more about 4 when he was in, if you've read Divergent, when he was in his first faction, before he even goes to the ceremony to choose which faction he needs to be a part of. It was so insightful. I enjoyed everything except for one thing, which was a writing style decision that Veronica Roth made. I'm not going to talk about it here because it might be too much of a spoiler, but I am going between 4.5 and 5 stars at the moment, so we'll see how we go. But safe to say I definitely enjoyed this book. And I then picked up my next book, which I just finished moments ago, which was Down Amongst the Sticks and Bones by Ciaran Maguire. So this is book number 2 in the Wayward Children series. I was heavily advised by a booktuber who has read a lot of books in this series to read book 2, which is this book, first, and then read book 1 afterwards, because book 1 gives away spoilers for book 2. This is very different for me because I'm usually a series purist. I read each book in a row, but when I'm given advice like that, I'm going to follow it. And so I finished this book now, and next month I will read book 1. As for this book, I thought it was okay. I do feel that any problems or issues I had with this book probably would have come about because I didn't read book 1 first. So I'll definitely see how I go after reading book 1 and update you guys on whether it's, from my opinion, if it's a good idea to start off with book 2 or not. But I thought it was okay. We have these twin girls by the names of Jacqueline and Gillian, who are nicknamed Jack and Jill, who end up finding a secret doorway that takes them to an alternate reality, I guess, where there's a lot of rules that go on in this world that they have to follow. I enjoyed that. There were promises that Shannon Maguire made that didn't end up happening. That annoyed me. So I feel like it's probably going to get an average rating from me, like a 3.5 or a 4. So from the 3 books that I read this week, I would say that my favourite was 4. Middle favourite is Down Amongst the Sticks and Bones. And my least favourite of the week was Frankenstein. But anyway, that's those 3 books spoken about. Let's move on to the next thing. Okay, so the next thing that I want to discuss with you guys is more regarding a book that I'm going to need to shelve, and this is kind of going to annoy me, but I just don't see any other option. So today is the 30th of November. Technically, today is the last day of the month. Mr. Fancy is going to cheat a little and give you a monthly wrap later on down the week, and I'll explain why. My monthly wrap is going to be delayed because I want to get as much of my TBR done as I can, but unfortunately that just won't include this book. It is annoying, it is very disappointing, and that book is this book, Rhythm of War by Brandon Sanderson, the 4th book in the Stormlight Archive series. You guys, if you know me, you know that my name is synonymous with the love of Brando Sando. So you know how much it annoys me when I say I'm annoyed to have to shelve my Brandon Sanderson read of the month. But in saying that, I'm just not going to have enough time to get to it. And what makes it even more annoying is that I have a very intricately detailed schedule for December that really won't allow me to get to Rhythm of War, because I have books, standard books. I'll tell you what I mean by that in a minute. I have standard books to read in book 1. In week 1 of December. In weeks 2 and 3, I have specifically got Christmas books to read. I think I have about 5 or 6 Christmas books to read. And then in week 4, I have other standard books that are not Christmas books to read already. And this chunker? Really? And I've already determined my January TBR, so how far behind am I going to be on Rhythm of War? Now, the interesting thing is, you guys don't know this, I do, but I'm happy to mention it to you. I have been planning for about a month and a half a Brandon Sanderson video, which is going to come out soon. The good news about that Brandon Sanderson video, because I was tossing and turning about this, over this, because I didn't know if I would have to cancel that video, is I don't necessarily need to read this book to do the video I want to do. So that's good. I'm going to shelve it. You'll probably see it up here with the other Cosmere stuff if I'm not in the way. But yeah, it's annoying, but it is what it is. I have to be rational and logic and look at where we are in the month. It's just not going to happen. The fact that it's over 1,200 pages long might give you a bit of an idea as to why it needs to be shelved. So let's talk about how the rest of my month is going to go, considering that my month and the months on the Gregorian calendar aren't going to match up. So, I mean, it should be the 1st of December tomorrow, but to me, I'm going to act like it's still November. So I plan to get through 2 books. This book, Water Wings by Morris Gleitzman, is a middle grade contemporary, and this book, Me, My Dad and the End of the Rainbow by Benjamin Dean, is a middle grade LGBTIQ plus book about a father that is gay, the child doesn't know, and so coming to terms with all that. I'm looking forward to reading both of these. Once they are done, then I will do my monthly wrap, including them, but obviously not including Rhythm of War, and then I can go into December. Now, is there anything else I need to update you guys on? Because that was done a lot more quickly than I thought it would be. Yeah, I also just want to say thank you to everyone who reached out to me while I was away to make sure I was okay. I realized a couple of things after I went away because I received a lot of messages from you guys just checking in to make sure I was okay. And something that I realized is that maybe I wasn't specific enough with how things are for me when I'm away in my last vlog that I did, or maybe I should just write it in the Discord or whatever. So I'm sorry if you didn't get the word or the message, but the situation for me was that on, well, 2 Saturdays ago, I went away, and originally my goal was to be away for 2 days, but even prior to leaving on Saturday, it had changed to I was going to stay away for a week. Then I ended up staying away for 3 extra days, 2 or 3 extra days, and then I came back home. So, and when I went away, I was very much off the grid, as they say. I don't generally say it, but it's the right lingo to use. I was off the grid, and that's generally what happens with me. I fully, wholly, and completely immerse myself in what's going on around me while I'm away, as opposed to keeping tabs on booktube or reading sprints, even though I did manage, as you saw, to get reading done. These aren't long books, so I didn't even prioritize with my reading. I was away to be away. But I think one thing that I should have said was, I'm going away, I'm actually going to be off the grid while I'm away. And if I just so happen to join a reading sprint, then it worked out, but otherwise I'm off the grid. But anyway, I do appreciate, on the other side of the coin, I do appreciate you guys reaching out to me to make sure that I was okay, and I'm sorry that I scared you for being away. I really do apologize for that, but the love is there, and I feel the love, and I thank you very much for it. Alright, but I'm back now, so I have time to whip up a few more videos for you guys and get a lot more actively involved in reading sprints and things like that. So I'm very, very excited about that. Oh, I actually have one more bit of information to tell you guys, which is a little bit of a downer. Unfortunately for me, I will not be able to take part in Tiffany's 30th of November Christmas Tree Farm Mystery Series Book 3 Buddy Read. That's a lot to say. But anyway, yes. I read 2 books, the first 2 books in the Christmas Tree Mystery Farm series by Jacqueline Frost earlier this month, specifically because Tiffany from Beach Bum Bookworm was going to do a buddy read of book 3 in that series on the 30th of November, which for me is today, for her is tomorrow. With everything the way it is and still need to get through these 2 books, I'm just not going to have time to join her on the buddy read. So Tiffany, if you're watching, I'm sorry. I really wanted to be. I had everything ready to go. Sometimes things just don't work out. But yeah, but if you want to join the buddy read with Tiffany and you don't know her details or whatever, please do reach out to me and let me know, and I will get that information to you so you can go and join her. I will try and sneak in book 3, which is called Slashing Through the Snow, in December, but I will see how I go. And now you're all completely caught up with me. So I hope you guys have had a wonderful week, 10 days, whatever it is. I don't know what I'm going to be doing about my next reading vlog, if I'm going to have one or not, because I'm going to have the monthly wrap. But I can say for sure that at the very least in 2 weeks' time, I will be back with another reading vlog. But till then, it's more of a, I've just gotten back home and I need to get, back into schedule and everything. And I'm a bit behind on certain things, so it's just, everything's a bit here, there, and everywhere. But I should be a lot more composed in my next video. I'm so glad this is a weekly / reading vlog thing, because I can be as casual as I want here. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you've made it this far, leave a love heart. I'll leave it up to you what colour or whatever in the comments below. And yeah, in the meantime, letting you guys go, peace, blessings, and so much love. I, generally speaking, post videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but there was no video on Monday because I was away. So just stitching that into my outro for you. Generally speaking, I post videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you so much for watching, and mwah, happy reading!